Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you on this, well, beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It's still a warm one out there. A note from my sponsors, Robert Gibb and Sons. Did you know they have qualified technicians and quality equipment for any of your projects that you have in mind? And that includes everything from your commercial projects or your home projects. So if you have a commercial project, keep Robert Gibb and Sons in mind. All right, let's take a look at our weather. We've had a lot of weather to talk about over the last 24 hours. A couple of storms overnight had some hail potential skirting through parts of Lakes Country and Wilkin County, and they've been out of here. And it has been a subtly cooler day, but still on the sticky side. Here's a look at our current conditions across the area as we peek at that latest radar. So as we head into the 5 o'clock hour, we have very weak winds, but they have a northerly component to them that has ushered in some subtly cooler air to the area, but it's not really cool. Getting up into the northern reaches of Lake of the Woods, it's a 70-degree afternoon there. That's the cool spot. How about 68 in War Road, 70 in Roseau. Baudette also in the upper 60s at this hour. Thief River Falls, we have a dancing thunder shower that is really slowly creeping its way around and dissipating as it works its way southward into and toward Pennington County from Marshall County, Minnesota. It is out there by Walker, 69 degrees. Fargo-Moorhead near 80 degrees at this hour. As we look in, it's 81 at Hector, 79 at Moorhead's Airport. Up the interstate here to Grand Forks, it's 81 degrees there as well. A little cooler in Devil's Lake in the 70s right now. Dew points are not in the 70s, but in the 60s, but that's still sticky for this time of the year. Rita, it's good to have you on board from Bemidji. It's always nice that you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Deborah's joining in as well. And if you have a weather question, let me know. But here is something that we haven't looked at in a little while. This is the visible satellite loop. And it, again, has been filled with quite a bit of smoke. So all of this milky white nonsense you see there is haze in the atmosphere from the depth of the atmosphere up high, in the middle atmosphere, and even down low. There's been smoke moving around. You can see thunderstorms forming here from central and eastern South Dakota into southwest Minnesota, crossing over the I-90 corridor there. And then here is the flow aloft or above the ground, making its way through the northern valley. That wind moving from northwest to southeast, but it's really kind of cool. You can see the surface winds, as we showed you just moments ago, from the north and from the east. So a little bit of shear showing up in the atmosphere, but this is what that milky white looks like as we take a look at your forecast. Now, tonight I'll have your smoke forecast and we'll go over that in detail. But for now, we're going to focus on what's going on in our area for the next 24 to 36 hours. We do have some changes to talk about. Hi, Patricia, joining from Ada, and Katie joining from Bagley. It's good to have you on as well. So that's a look at what we have going on, and we'll take a look at what we have going on with regards to your forecast. Here we go. All right. It does look like we will see here on the hour-by-hour forecast our storm chances be really a thing of the past. I'm going to go back just a model run here so we can take this back in time just a little bit farther. Now, any storm chances will mainly be across Minnesota, right where we're seeing them in that Pennington County area. Will they be severe like last night? Well, there's not as much heat in the atmosphere, not as much moisture in the atmosphere, but I won't rule out some hail with a few of these cells. They don't last long. Now, here's the cool pool pushing back in from parts of Canada and eastern parts of Minnesota. That's going to bring us some relief from the heat in the next 24 hours. But then the south wind returns Thursday, and here comes the heat again. It's ready to bring the heat. The wind will help dry some of our surface conditions a little bit, but it's also going to return some sticky and humid air to the region. We'll also take a look at that humidity forecast as we go through, as we're in the hot part of summer. So it looks very dry over the next 48 hours or so. I'll keep you apprised of the latest on that. But for now, here's a look at what you need to know with regards to our temperatures around the area. Tomorrow morning, we're talking 50s out there to some 40s in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. We'll have some smoky sun to start the day, a light east-southeasterly wind. Here in the valley, 60s and mid-60s out to the west. To start your day out in Glendive, Montana, 70 degrees. And here's a look at your forecast for the afternoon. Now, notice not a big cool down as we go into the day, 83 degrees for the FM area tomorrow. So we'll stay in the 80s, but there will be cooler weather off to the east, Arrowhead of Minnesota, low 60s on the North Shore, 70s by the time we get out towards International Falls and Lake of the Woods, and 80s here in the valley. And look at the triple-digit heat tomorrow in places like Glendive, Montana, Sydney, Montana, 98 degrees. So get out the old air conditioner, and if you're walking the dog, don't do it in the heat of the day. They don't like when their paws get that hot. All right, here's a look at your planning forecast. Look at all the sun in the forecast. If you've got hay cut, looks like a good time to let it dry for a while. That wind should really help on Thursday. Storm chances hold off until Friday night. Temperatures will be returning into the 90s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for many areas, not all areas. And it does look like we'll have the best chance of storms returning throughout the day on Saturday. We could have some morning storms. We could have some afternoon storms on Saturday, and then even more on Sunday. So scattered showers and storms in the heat and humidity that's set to return could be on that side of strong. And then a little bit of a break from the thunderstorms on Monday and maybe even into Tuesday. But the heat, look at that. It just continues as we glide toward the end of the month of July. So a lot of heat in there, a lot of humidity in the forecast on Hutch's bottom line. And that weekend thunder is set to return in your forecast. Hey, we've had a lot of information shared by you, and we did have some of those storms make their way through. And let me see if I could show you a look at the rainfall the last 2 days. So overnight, we had some showers and storms, some 1-inchers up there in Benson County on the northern side, Maddock at 22/100, so a quarter of an inch for you. North of Devil's Lake, there's where we had those big storms. And again, in isolated places, we had radar estimates in northern Ramsey County and even up in that Cavalier area of upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain. Hail can skew those estimates, but a lot of water likely fell along that Highway 5 corridor in northern parts of North Dakota. Not much in the way of rainfall in Grand Forks and Fargo, picking up 4,500ths, but not until the overnight hours. Here in Moorhead, I had 63/100ths, but reports of closer to 1 inch on the west and north side of town. So highly variable rainfall amounts. And then those storms overnight made their way into Otter Tail County, Fergus Falls, picking up upwards of, well, 1/3 to 2/3 of an inch in the area. And look at Otter Tail City, rainfall near an inch there. Down in southern Wilkin County, it was 1.49 inches of soggy rainfall. All right, I wanted to take a moment and share with you. You can get the very latest on hutchesweather.com. And again, we shared a lot of great photos. You shared a lot of great photos and videos of what was going on across the area in the last 24 hours. So we're going to take you over to the website right now. And on that website, it's a pleasure to have a brand new sponsor on board, Evco Petroleum Products, located in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, services a 200-mile radius around Detroit Lakes with lubricant products. So, hey, if you're getting ready to head into the fields and you want to get that equipment ready to roll for harvest or springtime, or just stock up on the Rotella or any of these fine products you see here, contact my friends today at Evco Petroleum. Call them up, let them know Hutch sent you. They can get you taken care of with all of your needs with regards to lubricant products here across the valley. So thank you so very much for tuning in this broadcast. Coming up tonight, I'm going to have an update on the smoke forecast, and I'm telling you that smoke is coming from Western Canada and fires in the northwestern United States, and it's going to be a problem with this heat and humidity out there. But here's kind of a fun little fact that we'll close with. On the 7-day planner that I showed, and I'll remind you right here what we had on there, today is the first day where our average low temperature is on its way down. So the average low temperature yesterday was 59 degrees, or yesterday was 60. Now, tomorrow, it will be 59 degrees for that average low. So when we take a look at the trend over the course of the year for average temperatures in Fargo, I want you to look at this trend shift here. The day with the most amount of sunlight, the most hours of sunlight, happens on June 20th or 21st. That's here where my hand is. Now we've crossed into the 20th of July, and that's typically when we see our warmest weather. So our average low temperatures are on their way down, down, down. And it won't be long until they hit -1. Well, I mean, not that long, but at any rate, sorry about that. It's just my job to keep you informed. Hi, Christy. Hi, Todd. Good to have you watching from Roseau County. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I appreciate you following me here on Facebook. I appreciate you checking in anytime you need weather information on the brand new website, hutchesweather.com. And thank you so much. I'll have an update tonight on smoke, and we'll talk a little bit about humidity in your forecast as well. Join me right here for details.